All right, recording. All right.
All righty.
I figured we'd just kind of go off the cuff, talk about
Yeah.
some serious shit, but then I kind of want to do what we were talking about, like talk about some movies or something,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sick
cool.
of all the seriousness.
Oh, I know.
All right, where's my glasses? Strong and uninformed opinions. Jeff Galino,
Chris Bailey.
back in the house. We haven't done one in a minute, but we felt like this was the time. A divided country is even more divided.
It is.
It is,
It
and I think
is.
it's kind of weird
It's
that
scary.
it's over Charlie Kirk.
I would have never bet that at Vegas or anything.
No, me neither.
That's unusual.
But I think, and this is just my take on this. I mean, we're going to get all into it and stuff, but I feel like it was a catalyst. But like that's what they say about history is a lot of times the things that set things in motion are not necessarily what you think they'd be.
Right, like in World War II, wasn't it just like some kind of romantic dispute?
That was World War One.
World War One.
Yeah.
Got out of hand, then it was like the whole world's
yeah. And I mean, I'm not. God, I hope that's not what we're dealing with. But
right.
I think I think a lot of people misunderstand that it's not really about Charlie Kirk. I think it has a lot more to do. I mean, for some people it is, obviously. But I think it's got a lot more, and I mean, especially with me, because I don't know. Do you know anything about Charlie Kirk?
I mean, I've watched his videos a handful of times.
Right.
The most I've known about him is now, just because it's everywhere.
Because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Which that got wildly annoying as well.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was justified, maybe it wasn't, but I'm just, God, why did I've never heard anyone really care about Charlie Kirk, really. And
not too much, yeah.
I mean, yeah, you heard of it, but then all of a sudden now he's second coming.
Yeah.
Which, whatever. I liked, when he first started that whole where you'd set up the little table and change my mind thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I liked those.
I respect what he was doing, like trying to open up dialogue in a respectful way with his enemies, and
I can't, I grew up Catholic. I cannot say I'm religious.
Yeah.
I guess I do have like some sort of spiritual belief, but like I kind of subscribe to the whole I don't know. And I think that's like I think that's one of the things about religion that's a little weird to me is it's you're saying
Yeah.
And I can't like in good conscience be all like, I know what's going on. I have no idea.
Yeah. And I don't think anyone does, but I mean,
well, no, but that's
people
the point.
Do think
that's, you know what's going on. And it's like, all right, I mean, I don't.
But. Yeah. And then why is there so many different religions, and they all know what's going on somehow. Well, it's different.
My views on religion have really changed over the last few years because I used to be I went to Catholic school, like I said, 12 years. I had to go to church sometimes 3 times a week. I've had more religion classes than most normal people. But because of all of that, and they got mad at me when I was in school. Catholics do this thing called confirmation. It's basically where you're baptized as a kid, but then you have to almost be rebaptized when you're of the age of no, I'm deciding this for myself.
Right.
And I refused to get confirmed, and they kind of were pushy about it. And they were how come you don't want to get confirmed? I'm all like, if I'm being honest, because you taught me all the reasons I don't want to be Catholic. And that was kind of the truth. You gave me world religion classes, and I was all like, wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm not sure I want to join the gang, guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, but
that makes sense.
But that's back to the Charlie Kirk thing. I didn't always love his religious take on everything.
He's pretty extreme.
Well, and that's your right. That's what I meant by my views on religion. I used to be really against it. I've always thought that it's actually killed more people than it's helped, which, dude, I'm sorry, there's still an argument for that, but I've also seen the good in it.
Yeah.
If if it helps you through the day, I mean, this world sucks, and if it help, I mean, there's good parts too, but but this world is hard. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
This world is hard, and if this gets you through the day, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like it does help people like
Yeah,
be able to deal with life. Like, okay, after or maybe not fear death so much or whatever.
all of it, dude. Like if
Yeah.
you find peace in the fact that your beliefs and all that stuff, then I can't, like, in good conscience, because of my own like moral compass or whatever, I can't in good conscience talk any shit about it because it's good.
And then in my personal experience, I don't really know many people. Like the most people I know that are religious are just chill and it makes them happy and as community. Like they're not out trying to on the corner or trying to
Right.
But
we also know that, and
that exists.
That exists, and I
Yeah.
think that's where the line happens with me in religion. And this is not any religion. This is just religion in general.
Yeah.
It's just as soon as you're trying to force it upon somebody or trying to make it, well, no, that's still forcing it upon. What? As soon as you're trying to force your beliefs on somebody else or justify horrible, horrible actions because of your belief, that's where I have a problem. Which
Yeah.
a lot of religions, almost all of them, kind of do that. Different extents, but I've seen religion be the reason that people justify absolutely horrific things.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's not a reason that you're allowed to do that. But I mean, it also makes sense. You're dealing with somebody's belief in their immortal soul. So if somebody actually believes that's, yeah, this is important and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to support my view, because this is not just like, oh, I like Coke over Pepsi.
Right.
This is like what's going to happen to me forever.
Right. For eternity.
So like,
yeah.
Does that mean that I need to pick up arms and kill somebody else?
A lot of them will do that, and it's like people, you can get susceptible to manipulation if you just have that complete faith, like whatever they're saying is right. You have to go along with it.
Well, that's where religion can get borderline what we were talking about, cultish.
Like cult, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're just blind, which I guess we could get into that. That's why, like, when people say like Donald Trump is a cult and all, I think, dude, I don't see that. Like, I really just don't.
Yeah.
Like, I think that there's some fanatics who are buying the hats and but I've seen fanatics who love the Raiders. Like, would I call the Raiders
same thing.
Cult? You know what I mean? I just think it's diminishing the word, like,
yeah.
I think in the end of the day, like, would people literally kill their neighbor because of Donald Trump? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some people would, but I don't think everyone would.
There's
like
fringes.
A cult.
There's fringes.
Yeah, fringes
of anything. I think there's people who would kill for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
There's less. I think there's way less of them, but but so that's the only thing I didn't really love about Charlie Kirk, is he kind of brought religion into things too much. But I will say this, like, you said you've been watching more of it and stuff like that, like, he was kind of good at disassociating the religion from just the politics of it.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever see, there was a video, I think it's going around right now, I've seen it twice this morning, but I'd seen it before, where he was doing his thing with the microphone, and there was like a total, like, hardcore right-wing guy who got up there and was just railing against gay people being against Christianity and all this stuff. And dude, Charlie Kirk shut him the fuck down. And
that's what I respect about him, is he's not, like people say he was a hate monger spreading hate speech and all that stuff. And I could honestly, I haven't really seen that. And to your point, I've seen him almost go the opposite way. Like, no, this is not about that. We're just having a conversation,
And I think what it is that because he does lean right, obviously.
For sure.
He does lean right, obviously. And it's kind of the same idea of like, well, the KKK is endorsing Donald Trump. Well, do you think they're going to endorse Biden?
Right.
Like that's just the guy who's like, and they're going to hate him too. As soon, because that's another thing that, I mean, I hate to bring it up, but like, it drives me nuts when people are like, Donald Trump is a homophobe and stuff like. dude, one of his like biggest cabinet members, like one of the most important people in his cabinet, the guy who's in charge of our economy, is a homosexual,
Openly gay. I didn't know
openly
that.
gay, and
Yeah.
like, dude, and like, he's got basically our economy that he's running. If you want to get down to it, probably the most important thing to Donald Trump. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
money, okay? And so, I mean, I don't see how you can be both of those things. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're a homophobe, but you're literally trusting this guy to run the show almost. And it's like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Or like Charlie Kirk is a racist, yet he had African American youth summits and Latino American youth summits trying to get like kids down the right path and to like maybe not go to college just because somebody told you to go to college, like, or go to college because you're going for the right, like, you want to be an engineer. Well, you need to go to college then.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know. When I was going to school and stuff, like, there were so many people who just went to college because somebody told them they had to.
Yeah.
They had no.
And that's expensive too.
But that's the
You
thing,
just
dude.
go for
You're going
fun.
to get all in debt, and you really didn't even need to go to college. You're going to end up with the same job
Yeah.
that you probably would have gotten if you just would have started entry level and worked your way up.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are kind of catching on to that. Trade schools seem to be.
Dude, do you know how much a good plumber makes?
Oh, my cousin's a plumber,
dude, and like electrician.
I was just in his $5 million house in Utah.
Yeah, okay.
For real. I was
yeah.
I mean, he owns the company,
but that's how it starts. I mean, you're not going to make
not
going to make that money right off the bat. But like, dude, you start, and then before you know it, you have a crew of 2 guys, but then you have a crew of 10 guys, and now your job is literally just to like run the business. You're not playing in the shit anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, you did have to play in the shit,
Yeah.
So like,
and they can still get paid well, at that level
good
too.
plumber, dude. And I mean, they're hard to find.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like fucking carpenters, plumbers. Dude, a good mechanic is almost impossible to find because a lot of these guys that work at mechanic shops now, dude, they just plug your car in. And they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just doing
it's all computerized.
They just do what the book says or whatever. And that's not really how you diagnose a problem sometimes, because I mean, I've run into that.
That's kind of what they teach them now, though, I think, just how they run the computer diagnostics. But
that's not, because then you run into, like, I had that happen with my car where like they were like, well, let's fix this and this. Well, they fixed this and this. It did nothing.
Yeah.
I'm already $3,000 in on this, and you didn't do anything. And the problem's still there. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, now what? Well, we can replace this and this.
Yeah.
Well, do I want you to replace this and this? Because you already replaced that and that. And
it's like, how long are we going to do this for?
Yeah. Well, why don't we just put a new engine in? Like, like, I mean, that'll fix it.
We'll find it eventually.
Yeah, totally. All right, totally off topic. But so, like, and a lot of like, with everything, I mean, right off the bat, as soon as he was shot, you saw all of these memes saying all of like the stuff that he said and why he deserved it.
I saw a little bit of that.
But dude, did you ever hear the whole context of it?
Of what?
Like, because they just would put like, and I mean, dude, everyone's guilty of this. They used the one sentence that proved their point, but they didn't listen to the whole thing.
That drives me nuts because, I mean, honestly, like, if you're going to accuse someone of something that heinous, and then you have like a 5-second clip as your proof, it's like that doesn't even count. This like a whole 20-minute conversation,
right?
And they cherry pick like the part that looks the most bad and be like, see.
Well, and that was the one with the gun deaths. Like, gun deaths are acceptable, whatever.
Right?
But did you watch that whole thing?
I think I watched some of it.
He was literally talking about the fact that if you are going to live in an armed society, the idea that there will not be any gun deaths is absolutely insane. There will be.
Most of what he says makes sense. Whether you agree with it or not, it has like a logical point where you're like, yeah.
I mean, I don't agree with his stuff on abortion, and then that's the part with the religion. But I also see his side. Once again, if you're dealing with somebody who is talking about their like religious beliefs and they truly do think that abortion is murder, I could see where they could also see that funding Planned Parenthood through their taxes is them helping murder kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where the argument comes, like, should tax dollars go to, funding like Planned Parenthood and stuff? I don't think so, just because of that one fact. Because, like, and I'm not saying that I believe that, but if you have every right as a private citizen to go and fund, if you believe in it, go give Planned Parenthood money then.
Yeah.
I think where the problem comes in is that it's somebody's tax dollars who fundamentally there are people who literally think they're committing murder.
Oh yeah.
Because their money is going towards abortion funding.
I'm being forced to contribute to that.
Which, I mean, okay, I can totally understand why you're so angry about having to do that.
It makes sense.
I don't agree.
Yeah, same here. I might have a different point of view, but if someone truly believes that,
I can see why that makes you mad.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's other things that are like that too. But like, I think that's where the problem, because then the other argument that I was seeing a lot of, well, I didn't see anybody this like outraged when the Minnesota congresswoman got killed.
Yep, I saw that kind of point.
I didn't see anyone cheering either.
Right.
I think that's the difference. Because clearly a lot of people like Charlie Clark. That's a restaurant up in Pine Top.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, really good steakhouse. A lot of people did like Charlie Kirk. Okay.
I'm surprised, like the whole world, like different countries and stuff.
That part's surprising. But I think that the people coming out of the woodwork I think, and I want to get into that. I think that had way more to do with the response from other people and then people being all like, "Wait, what?" And then that's what I mean by like.
Well, if someone dies or gets shot like that,
you're supposed to have the same empathy no matter what.
Well, maybe not though, because if you're connected with someone you are into, you watch them, they help you out in life. If they get killed, you're going to mourn them than to some people you've never heard of, even though if it was equally as heinous. Naturally, you're going to almost like if you. I mean, this is a pretty dark scenario. I'm just thinking if I could see, like, just
word yourself properly, Chris.
Like if someone, like a family member, dies,
you're going to care about that much more than
say your neighbor dies in the same exact way.
Well, I mean that's human.
That's all it is, I think, too, is like so many people did like him. And they're like, people are like, well, why don't you care about these people that way? It's like,
well, but and to that point, had you ever even heard of that congresswoman before?
I never had before.
Well, why would you? Like, I mean, I know my congress.
And it's horrible, of course.
And I think that's the point. And I've said that to people. It's just like, dude, I understand. Like, yes, nobody was out there marching in the street. Air Force Two didn't take her body. Well, she was where she was going to be buried. I mean, she was in her home when she was killed.
Yeah.
So, like, that wasn't even necessary. But, like, the main point that I think is that I don't remember anyone cheering about it.
Yeah.
Like, nobody was making dancing TikToks about the Congress.
I heard about that, but I didn't see that one.
I've seen, dude. And people can say whatever they want. I've absolutely seen them. Even in my own personal life, there was people who were just like, fuck yeah, I'm glad he's dead. And then I think they didn't get the response that they thought they were going to get from that. And then it's a little bit of backpedaling of all like, then it turned into, well, I didn't see you this mad when the congresswoman from blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I wasn't happy either, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're like literally stoked.
Right.
And as a human being, you should probably have a little bit of like, I'm not sure I'm using this word correctly, but I like to sound smart, like a visceral response to watching somebody literally get murdered in front of you. And I almost wish that video did not exist.
Yeah, it was horrifying.
And it was, dude, just like the lady on the fucking subway or whatever.
I never watched that whole video.
That is
luckily
fucking terrible.
I do not want to watch
because,
that.
Dude, she doesn't just like die. She just like she's like pretty with it up until the moment you just see her fade. Like, it's fucking terrible. And see, and you know what's ironic about all of this is like, I put up a post on Facebook, which if you follow me on Facebook, you know I can't keep my mouth shut.
Same here.
Yeah, that's literally the only reason I have a Facebook. I put up a thing the day before the Charlie Kirk thing talking about selective outrage. Like, it was bothering me that it's like everyone was so up in arms about what happened to this lady. And dude, do not get me wrong. It's fucking awful what happened to
the
her.
train.
The train thing.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful. Like, dude, I wish I didn't watch the video. I really do. But I did. And the idea that, like, you're so outraged by this, but dude, that shit happens every fucking day. I mean, maybe you just didn't have to watch it, and that's why now you're so upset about it. But maybe take into account that shit happens to people all the fucking time, and you just didn't have to. So is it about you or about the person? Because you're just worried about how it made you feel, not the actual person who died. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you have to be honest with yourself. You know, like why is this so triggering to you? Is it because you watched it, like you said, or because, like you said, that shit happened? You go look hard enough, you'll find that shit happening.
Or
all
like
the time.
the school shooting stuff,
or like war, like Gaza.
Oh, come on, dude! Like, dude, I think that most people. I think that's where, like, you know, this is for a generation that you guys don't understand this, but like, I think that's why Vietnam was such an outrage to people during those times, is because that was the first televised war.
Yeah.
You know, before that, you got the clips that the government went through and said, okay, you guys can see MacArthur landing on the beach and like us being triumphant and all the good stuff and propaganda. Vietnam was the first war where it was literally like just a reporter in the shit. And that wasn't even all that horrific. You know, I mean, what? Dude, take that back. That's not what I mean. I'm saying that the nightly news wasn't even showing you the fucking real horrors of what was going on. It was still censored.
Tampered.
Well, now we've got an age where, you know, the nightly news didn't show that full clip of Charlie Kirk,
but it's there.
But you can fucking
no one watches the news anymore.
You can fucking find it in 2 seconds,
dude. My kids, and this tears me up. My kids, I got home and they're like, "Look, did you hear about this?" And it was multiple angles, full shooting, blood. My kids had more than I did, and I was like,
and it's also like, dude, like, I mean, this is just me, but I could pretty much say that as a kid, if I saw that, it'd stick with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and this is the thing. Like, I mean, the fucking JFK assassination, okay, horrific. Okay, same thing. I don't like JFK at all. I think he was one of the most corrupt people who has ever been president. Okay, maybe not, but that's my view on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I was fucking stoked that his wife had pieces of his fucking brain in her hair.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's insane to like be all like, fuck yeah, fuck him. Like, dude, like, come on.
I can't imagine that mentality.
I can't either, but I think that's what we're seeing here is
and then, like, not to, even if you do feel that way, to not have the filter, just to be like, I better keep that to myself, you know, just to be like.
Yeah, but I would argue that if that's how you feel about that.
Yeah.
I don't
just
even
let us know, maybe.
Well, no, I don't know how to relate to you.
Yeah.
Because, like, that was not my reaction to any of anything. Like, dude, I don't think I've ever heard like of a school shooting and somebody's like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Like, or good.
Right.
Like that. I've never heard that.
That's insane.
Like, there's people who will justify it, not justify it, but they'll give you the reasons of like why gun control and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where like a conversation needs to be had, because I mean, and this is just me personally, I don't think, first off, guns aren't new. And why is school shootings new?
That's what I think Kennedy was saying, something like that.
Dude,
and he was like, we've had guns forever. We used to have guns, shooting clubs at our high school, per capita
dude,
guns.
Could you imagine that? There was shooting clubs in schools.
He said that, and he's like, we never had.
You can't imagine having that now.
Yeah, he's like, we never had this problem until recently.
Well,
So something's different, you know?
I fully subscribe to it's and this is not saying I completely agree with everything that fucking RFK,
Yeah, I think, yep.
that he says either, but it's, dude, we're a sick society. You have kids who have literally never not been sober. They have been on some sort of mind altering drug since they were 5 years old because somebody said your kid's a little bit too hyper. Do you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
that's also like we got bad parents who, instead of being all like, yeah, you know what, we're not going to do that just yet. Let's see what we can do. Just, or it's just like, nah, dope them the fuck up, dude.
Right.
I can't handle them either, you know?
Right.
And that's not to say that there aren't kids who need that.
For sure, yeah,
I
they
just
are.
think it's,
They are,
I
yeah.
just think it's pretty prevalent.
Maybe overdone.
Overdone, or just like way too quick to the
And then you could say, there's, you just follow the money trail. That kind of tells you why.
Yeah, that's another whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, there's going to be people lobbying for every kid to be on fucking, I don't even know if they use it anymore, but Ritalin, because they just make money off of it.
Yeah.
But that's where like personal responsibility comes in. No, I don't want my kid on Ritalin.
Right.
Let's try some other shit before we just give him Ritalin. Before you know it, then, I mean, dude, this is even just me when I was in school. Before you know it, that kid's not taking the Ritalin; he's sniffing the Ritalin. And like I said, I don't even know if they use Ritalin anymore. But,
yeah, I don't know.
But they were fucking.
I think they use stimulants still like that.
Right, and I mean, dude, we don't know how that long term, especially with kids, where they're not developed. Their brain is still coming. Most kids that I knew who were those kids that were the hyperactive or discipline problems or spectrum, all that, they kind of came into their own just through time.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing that they needed to be completely.
And that's hard to make a kid sit in a chair at school, like a 6-year-old for, 6 hours?
Oh, dude,
they're fucking climbing the walls.
My cousin. I've told my cousin that if I was ever going to torture him, I'd make him sit in a chair for 5 minutes and not do anything. Right. And he was all like, I can't do that. I was like, I know. You would rather have your fingernails torn out, I think. But so I mean, it's not just kids, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that you should be on this cocktail of drugs just because you can't sit still.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
And again, off topic, but I think that's where the problem is with this Charlie Kirk thing. It's just the response from some people is a little bit gross.
It is.
Then that's not to say that there probably were people on the right who were like, fuck, well, like Pelosi's husband getting almost killed. There was absolutely people on the right who were like, fuck yeah, okay. And I mean, me personally, and this is just me personally, I don't want to see Pelosi dead. I don't like her at all. I think she has actually been one of the biggest problems in modern politics. I'd like to see her in jail.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I want her dead. I mean, you can want to see Donald Trump in jail.
Yeah.
You could want to see Charlie Clark. I keep saying Charlie Clark. Charlie Kirk in jail. Unfortunately, just like me with Pelosi, until there's a reason to put her in jail, not just my own personal beliefs that I think she should be in jail, she doesn't go to jail. And I have to live with that. It doesn't mean that I can go and just pass judgment and be all like, well, you're dead now, and it's the same thing with Charlie Kirk. Like,
yeah, a lot of it's just that extremist rhetoric from left or right. Like if you're into that, say you're on the far left and they're calling so-and-so a Nazi every day.
That needs to stop.
And then, so you're going to be like, well, I'm going to go out and be a hero and kill Hitler.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
And so the other side does it as well. And so it's just that extreme rhetoric is dangerous.
And
that's one thing that Charlie, I thought, was trying to bridge. Be like, we aren't extreme. These are my beliefs. It makes sense to me. What do you think? What are your beliefs?
There's even a couple of videos.
Because there needs to be that kind of...
There's even a couple videos where people talking to him completely changed his mind. And he was all like, you know what, I'm wrong. And one of them was a deaf guy who they were talking about, like, because he said something about like they need to get the lady off of the screen doing the sign language. It's distracting and I can't listen to the information, blah, 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 blah. And he was all like, that's what subtitles are for.
Yeah.
And this deaf guy came and he debated him and was all like, look, here's the reason why there's different types of, and I don't know shit about this, but I guess there's different types of being hearing impaired or whatever.
Okay.
And some of them actually understand this better than being able to read. I think
Okay.
is what part of it is.
Yeah.
And he was explaining that, you know, that's an emergency situation where I need information of like, should I evacuate or this, that, and I can't read the subtitles or they're inaccurate or whatever. And this is telling me like I need to leave my house, you know. So while it might be distracting to you, it's literally the only way I can get the information that I need.
Right.
And he was all like, you know what? I never thought of it that way. You're completely right. I apologize. And see that right there. I mean, that to me is like, that's the point of debate.
That's the point of it. Yeah. To
Yeah,
kind
like,
of
dude,
come
you
to
can
an
change
understanding.
my mind. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what his table said. Change
Yeah.
my mind. Now you can be real like hard headed about your opinion, which I mean I totally am. But I've absolutely changed my mind on certain things.
I have too. I've been all over the map politically since you've known me.
Yeah, and I mean I think you've changed my mind a little bit on some stuff too. Like I'm still pretty firmly on Israel's side. I think I'm against the Netanyahu administration.
Yeah, I've always been against that.
No, I know, and you've always tried to get me to get, but like I think I'm seeing it now.
Yeah.
You know, like I was in my mind a little bit too blinded by the other fight, which is that Israel deserves to exist.
Yeah,
which
they get mashed together.
Yeah, I think
so. You can be like not like the administration, but still support Israel's right.
Yes,
and that's kind of always been my point.
And I think that's where I'm at now too.
Yeah,
because it's did you beating a dead horse, dude? Like, what are you doing there?
Right.
Like, there's no logical reason. Do you see? Trump?
I always felt they wanted to do that.
And I mean, but again, I think I was coming at it from the view of just the idea that Israel has constantly been attacked.
Yeah.
By.
So they're a little touchy about shit like
that.
Well,
and even like me, I was a little touchy. So I think you're right. I think that they have a right-wing government in place right now that is their goal, is to get them the fuck out of there. I don't think that that's necessarily the goal of the Jewish Israel state.
And that's totally
you know what I mean?
Things. Yeah.
And that's why there's protests even in Israel, you know, because I don't think that that's what the Jew, and which I want to get into this a little bit. I am getting a little bit concerned with the talk that people are having about Jewish people and Israel in general. Because just like what we were just talking about, I think you need to separate the two.
Yeah, you have to. And
blaming the Jews for everything is literally what the Nazis did.
It's a hard thing because you know Jewish people, it's like a religion, it's a culture, it's a state, it's a government.
Right.
So it's like it's hard to like.
Well, no, and so no, I wouldn't even say that. Jews are not a government.
Right.
There's the Israeli government.
Yeah.
So there's a separation there.
But they tend to kind of mash them together. If you criticize Israel,
well, so like
then you're anti-Semitic.
This is the one that I've been hearing a lot of recently. Is like if you read the Talmud, but the truth is that people are saying that the Talmud is like the Jewish Bible. It's not.
I've never heard of that.
The Torah,
right? Yeah,
that's what most Jewish people believe in is the Torah. I forgot what it's called. People are using that as like the scapegoat to vilify Jewish people, but that is not like their like scripture really. Like it's like they're like super like fundamental, because there's fundamentalist Jews 1,000%, and that's more what they believe in because it justifies their wants of God's chosen people and all that stuff. The Torah doesn't do that. And that's what the majority of Jewish people are actually following. And then you got like this fucking 0.25% who are like following the torment. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, the real extreme
The
kind
real
of
extreme
fundamentalist.
thing, because it
Yeah.
really just gets them what they want, which is, the Jews, that's their land, and, all that stuff. So you could maybe argue that's more like what Netanyahu's going.
I think he has people like that in his administration.
I think you might be right. Yes.
Yeah.
But I still think that people need to step back and realize that doesn't mean that's the Jewish people's
Right.
belief.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that gets dangerous too. Just kind of washing a whole thing based on extremists.
or the idea that our government is run by the Jewish government. Like, I'm like, I don't like that talk, to be honest with you. Like that
Yeah.
is exactly the shit the Nazis did. They blamed somebody else for their own fucking problems. And I think that's really what it is that our country just has fucking problems.
Yeah.
Why are you blaming the Jew? I mean, that doesn't even make sense, truthfully, in my mind.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree. Yeah.
So-
I mean, you could say the Israeli government has
Well, that's another. Okay,
kind of funded, you know what I mean?
Well,
But that's
back to the Epstein stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, like I do believe that maybe there are people in our government that the Israeli, not even the Jewish, the Israeli government.
Yeah, you got to be specific.
You've got to be specific because it really is two different things. The Israeli government has some shit on, and that is maybe why we see things that don't really make sense in our national interest being supported by us.
I think that's happening to a degree.
I think
Yeah.
so too. I mean, with the Epstein list thing, and this is my fervent belief, I think that Donald Trump is on a list.
I do too.
It's not the list that most people want it to be, though.
Okay.
Donald Trump to me doesn't strike me as a young girl guy. He doesn't.
Yeah.
If you look at even his wives, Donald Trump strikes me as a porn star, fucking almost like Vegas showgirl.
Yeah.
Like he kind of wants that fucking dirty party girl.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to
I
me?
can see that. Yeah.
I've never really gotten anything from him that's all like, I like underage. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then you take into account the idea that he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. All of those things, to me, the list I think that Donald Trump is probably more than likely on is the list that I would also say that most rich people are on. Everyone forgets that Epstein, this whole thing with the kids and the trafficking, that's the secondary crime. It's the one everyone cares about because it's way more important. But Epstein got rich because of money laundering. Okay, that's why nobody never even heard of this guy. And then all of a sudden he was like one of the richest guys in the country.
He was involved in Iran-Contra stuff too, I think.
Money laundering.
Yeah.
It was money laundering. That's what Epstein did. He laundered money. Do I think that Donald Trump laundered money? 1,000%. Do I think it was maybe through Epstein? 90%. I don't know that.
You're probably right. Yeah.
That's the list he's on. And I think Donald Trump knows that if that comes out, he's also not going to be president anymore and shit like that. For me personally, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I really just don't care that he laundered money. Like, I mean, I almost feel like it
feels like almost all of them would do it.
Yeah. And if they could get away.
You got the Bidens with the Ukraine thing. I don't really know much about that, but I think that was a similar, like.
How about Hunter Biden's an artist? Yeah. Have you ever sold one of your paintings for $5 million? I don't know why he is.
Right.
Seems to me that was a donor who gave Hunter Biden $5 million for a fucking shitty ass painting. And now you can't really say anything because he bought something.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they all do it, I think.
So I think that's the list Donald Trump's on.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Yeah, I think this whole like he's a pedophile, I don't buy that.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, if you want my fervor, like actual, Donald Trump seems like the type of guy who's trying to fuck your mom, not a young kid. You know what I mean? Like your mom's got to be hot though, but that's more Donald Trump to me.
I agree. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Still scummy, but not, not criminal.
It's scummy on a different level. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I don't think. Like I said, I mean, go look at his ex-wives. They all look like they should have been in some fucking Vegas show.
Vegas, yeah.
You know, I think one of them was. Like, I'm not even sure about that. But like, I don't see the young girl it's not like Leonardo DiCaprio or Anthony Kiedis. Isn't Anthony Kiedis dating like an 18-year-old?
Is he?
He's like 60 something.
Oh
like,
my God.
Well, see, that's where that would be a red flag.
Yeah.
Because that just means that he's into much younger girls. So where does that line
Yeah,
stop?
18 to 17 is not, in their head might be like, oh, that's all.
18 to 17 is fine if you're like 18 or 19.
Yeah,
As soon as as soon as you're like in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Like that's clearly like you can't even be all like, well, I really like hanging out with them.
Right.
You do?
What do you guys talk about?
What do you guys talk about? You guys watch TikToks together, or like, dude, that's insane. So anyway, but yeah, I think that's my big problem with this Charlie Kirk thing is just more the response. And like I said in the beginning, I think that's more of what people are upset about, not necessarily the Charlie Kirk thing. It's got way more to do with like you're really learning a little bit more about people and like what they really think.
Yeah.
The team sport politics is being exposed on both sides.
Both, yeah.
Because you've got the people who are literally like, oh, Charlie Kirk was shot. Good. Oh, Charlie Kirk was shot. He's like Jesus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, neither one of those responses are normal or okay.
Yeah.
Anyone who's
and then unfortunately, if you pick a side a little bit, like you get pushed over to that extreme.
Yeah, but I think that this is one of those instances where I don't even care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. And I even have, like, literally one of my best friends, I had to block him on Facebook. And I tried to explain it to him. I'm all like, I'm doing this for our friendship. Like, you believe what you believe. And that's what this really comes down to. Is like, fine, you believe that Charlie Kirk deserved this. Fine. I can't hear you say that and not say something back. And I still want to be your friend. So you're not going to like anything I post. I'm not going to like anything you post. So let's just not follow each other for a minute.
Yeah, that's smart, man. That's smart.
No, totally. Because I still text him all the time, like, he texted me, how's your dad yesterday? That's real life. I don't want to have this internet fight with you just because you believe that and I believe this. You know what I mean? Because I especially because that's what it's going to get. Why do you like Charlie Kirk so much? I don't like the response from everybody about what happened.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't like it. Like, let's put it this way. I don't like Hillary Clinton. I just don't. I think she's a horrible person. I would probably be fucked up if I saw her get murdered in front of me. Or she was fucking murdered in front of her daughter. And,
oh my God.
Like,
that's horrible.
But that's Charlie Kirk's family was there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dude, like, I'm not, and I kind of have the exact same view as he does when it comes to the word empathy. That's like a doer thing. Like, I get the concept of it, but there's a difference between having sympathy and having empathy. Like, I have
empathy is like where you really like feel like it breaks you up.
No, I think empathy in the new definition, I think that's what it's supposed to be. I think empathy in today's definition is an unearned, like, emotional response to something. Like, you're supposed to feel empathy for this and empathy for that. And it's like, I even put up a post about that. Dude, despite what everyone tells you, you're allowed to not give a shit.
Yeah.
You really are. That's part of the whole point.
I mean, you couldn't possibly be empathetic to every tragedy that happens every day.
That's where you have sympathy.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sympathetic to almost every horrible thing that happens in the world.
But empathy, like, that means like, fuck, this fucked up my day, kind of, but you couldn't possibly, feel that for every, like, unfortunately, there's so much tragedy in the world, but.
And I think that's the selective outrage thing I was talking about is like, okay, do I feel absolutely fucking horrible for that lady who got stabbed on that fucking train? 1,000%. I don't know how you could watch that video, and that's the other thing. I saw the video.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now, probably wouldn't be quite as empathetic if I didn't see the video.
Yeah, that makes a difference. That
It does, because it's like I watched the person die.
It's like Faces of Death back in the day. Remember that was like taboo.
Yeah.
Now it's just
come to find out, most of that was fake.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, most of it. A lot of it was made from movies that didn't get released.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And they just grew this lore of like, you're not even allowed to have this.
Yeah, it was like a sacred.
Yeah, well, you would.
God.
Yeah, look, Faces of Death, dude. These are illegal.
Yeah.
They weren't illegal. It just was like a limited release type video, so it was hard to find.
And they're just if you believe they're real, just watching it.
Right. Well, no, unfortunately, this is real.
Yeah.
But like, if I hadn't seen that lady get stabbed, I'd probably have a little less empathy or sympathy or whatever. No, it wouldn't be sympathy, because even if I just saw that somebody was murdered on a train, I'd be like, oh, dude, what the fuck? That's sympathy. Empathy is that it fucked up, like you said, your whole fucking world is shaken to the core with it.
Yeah.
That's where the selective stuff comes in. Okay, like, why aren't you shaken to the core every time somebody dies? And if that's the case, you're literally going to go insane.
Yeah.
Because people die constantly in this world. Like, the best example I saw and that's that Charlie Kirk quote about, in an armed society, there will be gun deaths. That's inevitable.
I kind of heard that compared to like cars. It's like
that's what it's compared.
As society, we accept 50,000 deaths a day, car wrecks, so we can travel.
If you continue the video, that's literally what he's talking about.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Is that he talks about the fact that as a society, we have to accept certain horrible things in order to have other things. So in order to have the right to bear arms against a tyrannical government, the right to like fucking defend yourself and all those things, horrible shit is going to happen. And back to the idea of like, I don't take Tylenol to get rid of the reason I have the fever. I get it to lower my fever. Once the Tylenol wears off, I still have a fever. You have to attack why you have the fever, otherwise it don't go away.
Yeah.
It's just like anything else, dude. Like, painkillers are just that. They kill the pain. It's not a cure.
Right.
You have to go and find what is causing the pain and fix that. I think it's the exact same thing when it comes to just not even school shootings, but just violence in general. A lot of violence that I see nowadays has got way more to do with, there's always going to be gang violence and shit like that, but it's got way more to do with mental health shit. Like, people are just crazy, dude.
I think social media is a big part of that.
I think it doesn't help. I think if somebody's already in a bad mental state, and then they're bombarded with horrible shit, and they've decided which echo chamber they're going to stay in, and then it's just...
That's just going to it could fuel a sane person into kind of a state of rage, and you know what I mean? Because it's like mind control, if you're exposed to that, that's how you're going to think, and it's like, I think that's a big part of it, the social media.
To something you'll enjoy, because I just know how you think. I think that's where you're right about, like, social media is basically funded by governments, and I think maybe this is a side effect they didn't even think about. You know what I mean? Like, they just wanted to be able to control the masses. They didn't think about...
social media is a great way to do it.
Oh, no, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Your phone, you're just surveilling for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to put a camera in everybody's house. You did it for them. You know what I mean? Like,
we're going to put a tracker in me as you have your phone with you.
No, they don't need a tracker. they got it. And you're not even complaining about it,
You went out and bought it.
That's another whole subject, though. But, like, I think that this is maybe a side effect of that, like, mind control that they didn't think about.
Yeah.
Like the idea that they might not be able to control the mind. Like,
I think they do, though.
Well, no, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not talking about, like, I think that what it is they're not going to be able to control the mental state of everybody. Not that they can absolutely show you what they want you to see.
Right.
They're not going to be able to control your reaction to what you see.
I think they know exactly what they're doing with that. If it is at that level, they know how to manipulate masses. They know mind control up and down. They've known it.
So
they know propaganda.
So is the goal another civil war?
I don't know. That's the thing, but I think they have a hand in it, and I think they know exactly the reactions they're going to get. They have.
Because I mean, that's the only thing I see. I mean, and I don't like that. I also don't know if that, because again, everyone says this. Like social media is not real life.
Right.
I have a feeling that we may be close to a social media civil war. I don't know about in real life.
If I think it translates though. That's what I think. The shootings. That's how it translates. It translates to real life, especially if you're a little like.
Well, but no, okay. So, but then, wouldn't you also say that that's maybe just exposing the unstable people?
Maybe. I mean, I think
even with this Charlie Kirk stuff, like I knew people that were totally on the left who did not respond like other people on the left.
Yeah.
They responded appropriately.
Right,
right. Like, so that wasn't a case of where social media guided them to the way it did for other people. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you have to be susceptible to it a little bit or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think either way, I think it affects, the situations.
I mean, your moral code also comes into it, I've said this for a long time, and this goes back to the religion thing. Like, I don't need the fear of eternal damnation to be a good person.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to do that whether I'm going to heaven, hell, or some people do need that.
Yeah.
Some people need the threat of burning in hell forever to act right.
And that's a good thing. It's
a good thing, but it also shows you mental.
Yeah.
Or not mental, like moral compass. Like,
right.
I don't need to be threatened to do that.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to do that anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's like we said earlier, it's a hard world, man. And I think, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Just with all the internet stuff, All
right, well, we don't want to beat a dead horse either. So let's move on to something maybe a little bit more fun. We're going to breeze through this stuff, though. Well, not more fun. I got 2 questions for you. So I think we're on the same page with Israel. They need to be stopped. I even saw that Trump was pissed off at Netanyahu the other day.
Yeah.
Because he's bombing Qatar, like, now out of nowhere.
Yeah, I heard. I don't know much about that.
Well, they're our allies. So, like,
yeah.
I don't know how that's all going to go. I have a feeling that we're coming real close to us being all like, no, you know what? Fuck you. And us not supporting them anymore. But that comes back to the idea that they may have dirt on us or something. But that might hit a tipping point, too, where people are literally all like, not worth it anymore.
Yeah.
You go ahead and say whatever you're going to say, and we don't support you no more.
Yeah.
But once again, I think it's the government, not the people.
Right.
I still think Israel fervently has the right to exist. I don't think that any of my view on everything that has happened in the last 70 years or so with Israel has changed a whole lot, except for the idea that maybe they have a tyrannical government in place now. So maybe in recent years, some things I can, like the idea of like the settlements and things like that. Now I'm starting to rethink some of that because it's not the narrative that I was supporting is not now the narrative that I'm seeing. So now I'm like, okay, kind of like an invasion, where before I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
So again,
that's good. You can pivot your point,
100%, dude. I think that first off, I don't see why you wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Like if things start to make sense and it wasn't what you were thinking, like why wouldn't you? And then that's the problem with today too. Like just because you changed your mind, people will attack you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, why? I mean, dude, I would hope you've changed your mind on some stuff.
Yeah, since you were...
And I mean, dude, I'm talking about, like, not even important shit. Like, okay, so my buddy Skylar at my tattoo shop, his kid is selling popcorn for fucking her cheerleading team. I bought a whole bunch of it just because, I love Skylar and I want to support his kid. And I bought this salt and pepper popcorn, and I took, like, 2 bites of it. And I called Skylar and I was like, this is crap, dude. Like, I got like 15 bags of this shit.
Oh my God.
And like, dude, and I'm all like just kind of talking shit and stuff. And then I found myself not stopping eating it, and then I ate the whole bag, and now it's like my favorite. And I went to the shop yesterday. I'm all like, you know what, dude? That's like my favorite one, dude. Like, sorry I called you and just started talking mad shit.
That's funny, man.
Talking about your daughter's.
It grew on you, huh?
Yeah, talking about your daughter's popcorn. It's crap. No, but anyway, all right, that's enough about that. Ukraine. What do you think's going on there, dude? I no longer know.
I don't either, really.
So Europe is literally putting together a coalition of like their own NATO to like put troops on the border with Russia.
That's not a good idea.
So Russia,
just hearing it doesn't land right, but my mind can change.
We're also not them.
Yeah.
You know, true. So like, I mean, Russia was launching drones into Poland.
Recently?
Yeah. Poland shot them down.
Yeah.
And Russia was all like, oh, well, it was a mistake. And it's like, okay, but they were still here.
Yeah.
You know, so like, so Europe looks like they're putting together like a military that has nothing to do with NATO, so you can't say it's expansion to NATO, to just guard the western side of Europe against Russia.
It is I always automatically compare it to the Cuba Missile Crisis. You know how Russia came right up on our border pretty much. We're like, oh, no, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm realizing Europe's different because they're already right up on each other.
Well, the other thing is that it's the idea that, like, because I've said this a lot, America is arrogant as fuck in the one aspect of, not just the one, but in this aspect of, we think history started in 1776.
Right.
Europe and Russia have a wildly long history, and they have a very good reason not to trust each other that we as Americans don't even understand. It's the same thing in Asia. You know, like we could be all like, why can't you guys get along?
Right.
It's like, well, here's the list. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know,
thousands of years.
There's a lot of, you know, in Asia, dude, people don't like the Japanese. And it's got a lot to do with history. You know, Japan, we look at it now and it's anime and it's like real, like futuristic society and all that stuff. If you're Korean, you look at them and you're all like, these guys have invaded us like 15 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're China, you're all like the rape of Nanking. You know, like these guys literally came here and just fucking cut people's heads off. You know, so
that history is there, even though times have moved on.
I think that we as Americans need to respect that history and understand why Poland is like, nah, we're not playing this fucking game.
Yeah.
They're on the border with Russia, or Belarus, I think, actually, but Belarus might as well be Russia. And, you know, they've been run over by the Nazis, by the fucking Russians, you know, all throughout history. And I could see where they're all like, yeah, I'm not waiting until this happens again.
Right, you know? Right. That makes sense.
But it does seem like Putin's pushing this thing. I still don't really like fucking Zelensky either. I don't think he's helping. Yeah. And I think Trump is starting to understand how complex this is. Where he just thought it was like...
He thought he was going to go in there and be like, all right, stop it.
Well, that's Trump.
Like, okay.
That's Trump and his swagger, bro. Like, he just fucking moseys on into town and he's all like, they're going to listen to me. I guess not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, I mean, no one wants war, but, you know, it'd be nice if they did stop killing.
I think it's going to end up being a little bit of a stalemate and almost like a Berlin Wall type situation where you're going to see them stop fighting, but it's going to turn into like a military border.
Yeah.
Like a demilitarized zone. And which is really weird too, because like truthfully, if you think about it from the globalist perspective of like free trade between everyone and all that stuff, Russia really has no upside to not trading with the rest of the world because as a superpower, dude, they could become wildly rich. So it makes you wonder, what is Putin's motivation in all this? Like, it really doesn't make sense. If he was just in it for the money, opening up the borders and stopping the war is actually the move.
I wonder if he's just trying to restore the old Soviet, you know, ideology.
Yeah, but even then, it really doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, what's he trying to do then?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know what his move is there, because we're not really even talking about enough land to restore the Soviet Empire. It's still too small. And still, Russia is the largest country per capita with the most amount of space. Like, most of Russia is empty, and it's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, so like none of that really makes sense, because on the world stage, you're still a superpower, no matter, just based on size. You know, I don't I don't know what the goal is there. I really don't. But it's
Do you think he felt threatened with NATO coming right up and into
yeah.
Ukraine?
Well, I think he felt threatened, but I also, that's the other part of this whole thing. Like, what made him feel threatened? Because NATO coming up to his border doesn't. The only thing that's a negative to is just that you have a military alliance on your border. But as far as like a globalist type view of like trade and stuff, that's a good thing,
Yeah.
because now you literally have all of Europe where you can just drive trucks across the border into your country, and vice versa, trading goods, making shit tons of money. That's what they were doing with, you can say whatever you want about Donald Trump. Donald Trump fucking called that shit in 2017 when he told Germany, you should not be buying Russian oil. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He literally was like, dude, you are going to be completely dependent on Russia. They can shut that off whenever the fuck they want. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that, but that's another one. Real quick about this too, tariffs, because these are all going on while the country is divided over Charlie Kirk. I still say tariffs are working, dude. I there's going to be price increases. I don't think they're going to be as much as people think. You're seeing almost every commodity just drop like a stone.
The price of them.
The price wood is like at like the lowest it's been in almost like 10 years. Things, because I think this is what people don't understand is, like it said, it's fucking supply and demand. If nobody is buying this shit because it's too expensive and you're already strapped, just business 101. If you're not moving product, what's the first thing you fucking
Lower
do?
the price. Yeah.
Okay, so these car companies are not selling any cars. And you can say that the prices are going to go up and all that stuff, but it's go do 2 seconds of research and you will see that every car company is discounting cars. And the reason they're doing that is because over the last 10 years, they've been making more money than they ever have selling on each car. So GM just posted that they lost like $1 billion last quarter because of tariffs. Okay, I don't feel bad for GM. But when you look at the actual numbers, because I look at this shit, GM was making, it was something like a 10% profit margin on their cars for the last like 10 years. They were making a ton of money off
That's
of
a
it.
lot.
It's a lot for a car. Historically, the high that they used to make was 6. So in past, however long GM's been in, the most they were making off of their cars was a 6% profit margin. And for the last 10 years, they've been making 10. So what did they disclose on their last like earnings call? They were making profit margin wise on each cars after tariffs 6.
Back to how it.
They're
normal.
still historically making more money than they have in the history of the country.
So when they say they lost $1 billion, it's like, when we were killing it.
They lost $1 billion after raping the public. So do I feel bad about GM losing $1 billion? No, I don't give a fuck.
Makes sense.
And if they want to sell cars, they can't keep the cars at those prices. Selling nothing makes you no money.
Yeah.
Selling something and making less off of it makes you money, at least.
Yeah.
That's where it's all going to come down to, okay?
Makes sense.
And dude, I'm sorry, but we bailed out GM in 2008, 2009, whatever. And this is another whole thing, but part of the Obama administration was part of that bankruptcy proceeding. And they told GM what they had to do to be able to take this money. You know what part of that was?
Lower their prices?
Move their manufacturing.
Oh, yeah.
fuck you. It's our money that bailed them out, and then they just went and fired everyone in America who was working for GM, put those plants in Mexico and in fucking Canada.
Wow.
So this is where Trump is completely right.
So that administration told them to move their
Yes, because it was
operations out of
because
the
it was
country?
cost cutting.
Oh.
Okay, but dude, I don't give a fuck about
Yeah,
that.
that doesn't make...
Like, as far as I'm concerned, if I knew that that's what you were going to do, then you could go under.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that emotionally attached to fucking GM.
Because, like, keeping big companies in the United States seems like a good thing for workers.
Well, here's the other thing, and dude, like, people use this as an argument too. Yeah, GM sucks. Their cars is crap, dude. Yeah. I mean, their trucks are the only thing they fucking basically sell.
Yeah.
And muscle cars. You know, people buy muscle cars and shit like that.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, they're just regular ass cars for normal people. They're not great.
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of chintzy. So why the fuck is it $45,000 for this chintzy ass fucking shitty ass sedan? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, no. I do not care that you lost money. Oh, yeah, but the investors. Again, I have stocks. I would have known better than to invest in fucking a crappy product.
Yeah.
So if you lost money on that, I'm sorry.
That's the name of the game, you know?
The name of the game, but also, like, dude, again, are we in this for Wall Street or are we in this for the guy who needs a fucking job that pays more than $15 an hour?
Yeah.
Which you can say whatever you fucking want. Did you see the raid? Largest immigration raid ever.
On the Korean plant, right? Or something?
I mean, not to be a little bit celebratory because people are involved here, but if you wanted something that proves it's not really racism, like it's not just that it's targeting Mexicans.
Right.
You know, like, dude, and that was the whole thing is that, dude, it wasn't just like people from South America coming through that border. And most of those people that they did get in the raid, dude, they were here on visas that expired, and they just stayed. A lot of them were here on visas that specifically said you're not allowed to work. So there's a lot of things that are involved in like illegal labor practices and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty complicated.
And same fucking thing, dude. Fuck Hyundai. Sorry, dude. You might have to hire people, which was part of the whole reason they put that plant in Georgia. Georgia gave them fucking tax breaks to build that fucking thing there,
for their community to work there,
but you're going to hire Georgians to work there, and that'll be good, and that's why we're going to give you this tax. And they didn't do it. Fuck you, dude! Like, that's the whole goddamn point.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not about racism. It's literally about the fact that you're hiring people illegally to prop up stock prices instead of hiring people at union job wages and shit like that, which is exactly what people voted for.
Yeah.
I want my neighbor to have a good fucking job. Who doesn't?
Right.
You know, I want me to have a good fucking job. But that's okay.
That makes sense, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think tariffs are actually working. It's a trickle down. It's going to take a while to really see it. But the thing is that prices probably will increase because of the tariffs on certain things. But then you also have people who are completely out of their minds with the tariff stuff. They don't seem to realize that it's a tax on you. I mean, yeah, if you take it all the way down to the trickle down, the company that bought the products from the foreign country pays those tariffs. They then decide whether to pass that cost on to you. You then get to decide if you're even going to buy that shit. Because they made
like basic free market stuff, you know?
Basic free market shit, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened to me personally. I used to buy Bounty paper towels. Costco, they were the cheapest ones. They're the best one. Or they weren't the cheapest, but they were the best ones. They raised it. It's like $35 for a 12-pack.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, fuck off.
I buy the Costco brand.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because they didn't raise their prices. They're just as fucking, well, I mean, I still like Bounty, but they're fine paper towels.
Yeah.
Like the quality is pretty equal.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's what, $23 a fucking pack?
I just bought some, yeah.
$23 a pack. So you know what? Fuck you, Bounty.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other
That's
part,
how it works. If you want to sell your shit,
right,
you gotta.
Here's the other thing. If you dig even deeper than that, Bounty had no reason to raise their prices.
They just did it for.
I don't know, because I think they could.
Yeah.
Because soft lumber, which is what paper towels are made out of, it's called soft lumber. They turn it into a pulp and then they make it into. That comes from Canada. Not all of it. Some of it comes from Canada. Completely exempt. Had nothing to do with the tariffs.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So fuck you, Bounty.
Yeah.
Okay.
They probably blame it on the tariffs.
Well, yeah, but now what's going to happen? Bounty sales through the fucking. They're gonna drop.
They'll be forced to
They're
go out of
co-
business or lower their prices.
Well, go out of business is the end thing. Before that happens, they're going to lower their prices to have to compete with fucking Costco.
Yeah.
And then me and you get to decide, well, am I going to switch back or fuck Bounty?
Right.
And honestly, fuck Bounty. I'm not going back.
Yeah.
Because you know what? After doing that little bit of research, like, you're just fucking scamming me, dude.
Yeah.
So, like, why would I support you? Fuck off.
Yeah.
I'll go support Costco.
Probably a lot of people don't research them that much, so they don't.
No, and that's the idea of, like, when you just read the clip about something, dude, they are hoping that you won't do 2 minutes of research. You will just read that and be all like, Charlie Kirk sucks.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
You know, like, because I mean, one of the other ones, I don't know if you looked into that, was he said something about this. The worst day for African Americans was when the Civil Rights Bill was passed.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you look into it?
I've never saw the full. I saw the 10-second,
So what he was talking about, and there's some truth into this, do not get mad at me. I'm just giving you data. Okay? I think that's another thing. What he was talking about, they took the little clips. And I mean, even then, it was like, they didn't even give him half a sentence.
Yeah.
It just said, like, that was the worst thing that ever happened.
I'm suspect when they do that. It's like, well, if it's so bad, like, post it all.
Right.
Like,
but all they did was literally write, the Civil Rights Act was the worst thing for African Americans. That's it.
Yeah.
As a quote from Charlie Kirk, not Clark. What he was talking about is there was, like, a lot of, like, the systemic racism that we see nowadays, which there is.
Yeah.
There's systemic racism for sure, was baked into that bill. You know, like the idea of, like, creating affordable housing, which created, like, the fucking what are they called in LA? The
projects or
projects.
Yeah.
It created the projects, which I don't, that's a deep dive, but I'm sorry, but the projects are actually wildly racist. Like, because that stuff is literally just breeding generational poverty. Because, like, you know how the projects work, right?
Not really.
Oh, well, then maybe we do need to talk about this. So if you live in the projects, you can live there for free as long as you don't have enough money. That sounds great. As soon as you get a job, you now owe rent in LA.
So it promotes people not getting jobs. Right.
Why would you? I know I wouldn't.
Right.
I could go bust my fucking ass to be able to live in this place that's not all that great and pay LA rent prices. Or I could just do nothing and fucking still live here and not have to pay a dime.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that, how is that, dude? Fuck race. How is that promoting anyone to get off of their ass and do anything? I wouldn't.
Or help out
wouldn't
at all.
Fucking do it. And then you want to, this is the one that fucking's even worse. You can, like, pass it down. So, like, say your grandparents lived in the fucking projects and they die. They can then give it to you, and now you live in the projects.
Unless you have a job.
It's a goddamn... No, you can still live there, but they're going to take all the money you make at the job to pay for the thing you could have for free if you don't work.
Right.
What? That's literally a prison, dude.
It's like, you can have this place, but you're going to have to quit your job so you can live for free.
Literally a prison.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny you say that, because someone sent me that little clip. They're like, see, like, this is horrible. And I'm like, well, where's the context? Like, why did he say that? And I use the example. I'm like, did he say that because that act didn't go far enough to help the black community? I just was...
In some ways, it made it worse.
Yeah, or did he say that because he hates people of color?
No.
And so it's like, there is no... where's the reason why he said that?
I agreed.
So it was funny you mentioned that
because
whole thing.
It's not even, we don't have enough time, but that's not even the only thing. That's just the easiest one to explain. That's where, like, prison reform was in that. We talked about it a million times, dude. Prison reform in the wrong way.
Kind of promotes the school to prison pipeline in a way.
It's also the idea of, like, it was breaking families up, where that's where you started seeing, like, African American families not have, like, dads in the house and stuff like that. That all started happening after that. MLK was killed after, I might be wrong, but he was killed after the Civil Rights Act.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so like all these things that really actually, there was things that were good about it, obviously. But it's just like all the bills that Washington passes.
They bake in
They
bad
put the
stuff.
fucking good shit at the top, and then nobody bothers reading after the fourth line, and that's where all the fucking bullshit is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Save the Children of America Act. The good line is up at the top. Then down here, it's like, well, yeah, but also we're going to give like $40 billion to Israel.
Yeah.
And then somebody votes against it, and you're all like, see, you hate kids.
Right.
Racist? Like, it's like, no, I don't want to give Israel $40 billion.
Yeah.
Rewrite the bill with just the two top lines, and then I'll vote for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And dude, that's how Washington fucking works.
I know. I hate it, man.
It's ridiculous. Just, I guess we didn't really get into anything light and fun. But real quick, did you happen to see the new Naked Gun movie?
No, I never did.
Dude, go see it.
It's good?
It's an hour and a half long.
That's good.
There's no point to it at all. Like, there's nothing. There's no redeeming quality.
That's how the first ones were.
Exactly. It was Liam Neeson is fucking hysterical because, like, you know, he's so hardcore and stuff, but like, he's an idiot, just like Frank Drebin. And
yeah.
So, like, dude, it's fucking great. There was one line in the movie that I literally, it was so stupid, and I was fucking crying, like laughing, dude. I'll give it away just because it's been out, but it was so funny. You guys are like, do you suspect foul play? And Liam Neeson looks at him dead seriously. He's all like, no, there's no way a chicken did this. Dude, I was literally like crying, laughing, dude.
That's classic.
Dude, that's what the world needs. Do we need like Police Academy movies and like fucking Naked Gun, just stupid bullshit?
Yeah,
dude.
hell yeah.
Because then I also saw like the new Fantastic Four movie. Did you see that?
No. I haven't seen any movie. Last one I saw was Spider-Man. Superman. And that was good.
It was okay. I thought it was a little too long.
Yeah.
And I thought the tone jumped around a little too much.
Yeah.
Like, I think they should have maybe stuck with a little bit of more of the silly stuff.
I didn't love the dog thing.
I kind of liked the dog. No, you know what I didn't like about it was it went from being kind of silly and funny and lighthearted to then it was serious.
Yeah.
And then it was funny again, and then it was serious. And like, I wasn't digging that. There was that one fight scene underground with the girl villain.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, okay, wrap it up, guys.
Yeah,
like, I went on for fucking ever. We know Superman's going to win.
Yeah.
So, like, why are we doing this for 10 minutes?
Right.
But I liked it.
I liked how it was kind of old school. It kind of reminded me of the old Christopher Reeve ones, kind of.
So I think that's where everybody kind of fucks up when it comes to Superman, though, is there's a whole group of people that are going to always compare it to the Christopher Reeves ones.
Yeah.
And so I heard somebody say, and this is super true, Superman. You know, Superman's been around for over 100 years, I think, like the character.
Yeah.
So, like, to say that it didn't feel like Superman, okay, but which one?
Right.
Superman's been reinvented a million times. There's been dark versions of Superman, you know, lighthearted. Then there's the Christopher Reeves one where he's literally the all-American, son of a gun, you know, like, you know, there's so many. So, like, even the plot line of that movie where he was sent to this world to conquer it, not to save it.
Right.
That's straight from the comic books. That was an actual.
That wasn't in the movies or the Christopher Reeve ones, right?
Because it was was a feel good movie, and it was the original version of Superman.
Yeah.
But in the comic books, that was a real version where, like,
I never knew that till that. I was like, oh shit.
Right, but when people were all like, "But it wasn't like Superman." Well, it was. It just wasn't this
one. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It was the one that you've never heard of. You were just looking at it as Christopher Reeve.
Right.
Okay, well, that doesn't mean that it's not correct. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. They pulled from the original story.
I liked it too. It was too long.
I don't like it too long.
You cut like 10, 15 minutes off that thing, and it would have been great.
Yeah, if you start yawning during a battle scene, it's like,
and that's too long. I legitimately, I was all like, I'm going to go get some more popcorn.
That's supposed to be the action part.
No, I don't need endless. No. I mean, my attention span is actually more attentive when it's a story.
Yeah.
I mean, I get we need a fight here.
Yeah.
I don't need it to be 10 minutes.
Right.
You know?
I agree.
What was the other one that I watched that was fucking, I can't remember the fucking name. It was a crazy ass movie though. So I've been doing these things called Unseen Screen. AMC has them where they just tell you it's a movie that hasn't come out yet. It's coming out like in the next week or two. They don't tell you what it is. They tell you what the rating is and how long it is,
Oh,
or even what genre.
that's kind of
So,
cool.
like, dude, you don't have a clue what you're going to see, and you're like 10, 15 minutes into the movie before you might already be into it, which is actually what happened. I went and saw one called the Home with Pete Davidson.
Okay.
Zero chance I would have seen that
Right.
just on my own.
Right.
I ended up really liking it, and it was just about this guy who was like a janitor at a fucking old age home, and like all this weird shit's happening and all that stuff. I didn't even know the name of the movie until the credits started.
Wow. That's
But
kind of cool because it takes away any bias
It-
or expectation. You just kind of go
it's
in like,
legitimately just the idea of like I'm gonna go see a movie,
yeah,
and I found that every one of them I've done 3 now. I really enjoyed the movie, and there were movies I would
we'd
not
never
have
see.
seen.
Right.
Um,
I like because that's a great idea because all the time I look for movies, I'm like, nah.
right, because I have a
yeah,
preconceived like, dude, I don't love Pete Davidson. I would have
right.
been all like, oh, Pete Davidson, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? Like, but
It's
it was
not bad, but it's like what?
yeah. I'm not going out of my way.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I saw it because I actually thought it was mildly good. It's not like it's a classic or a great movie.
Right.
It was good. And then I cannot remember the name of this movie that the other one I saw, but it was about like after World War One, these people from Germany moved. This is a true story. It's a Ron Howard movie. They moved to the Galapagos Islands to like just get away from the world. This was when it's still nobody really lives there, but and it ended up where like they like fucking killed each other and did all this crazy shit.
Damn.
But they had to like really survive. Like there was times where they were gonna like starve to death. There was no water. God, I can't Eden maybe or something like that. But had a fucking banger cast.
Yeah.
Like, dude, tons of fucking like Jude Law was in it. Who's that girl that everyone loves and hates now because of the fucking Gene ad? Sydney Sweeney.
Okay.